What's happening, so fam? So we have another Tarot Tuesday. All you gotta do is pick the Ascended Master deck, the Isis deck, or the Native American deck. I'll give you a few seconds to pick it up. I feel like the tea is going to be real today. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share this with a bunch of people, and give it a thumbs up, right? Or a heart. Alright, sending you lots of love. Are you ready? Let's play a game of speed tarot. We're gonna start off here. It's like, no, don't start here. Start over here. Alright. So we're gonna start with the Ascended Master deck first. I'm picking the Ascended Master deck and a little bit of Isis too. Alright. You need to drink more water. There is stuff going on right now. You gotta be flushing out whatever, which is really funny because this morning I made some copper, silver, distilled water. Totally was super delicious. There are things you have to let go of. You're still going through the Osiris death phase if you've been following along for the last couple weeks. So let whatever needs to be shifted out of your reality die. One of the best ways to let something die is to be real about it, right? Is this relationship actually serving me? Is this one characteristic of mine something that I absolutely need? Do I need anyone to do the healing for me, or have I been finding excuses not to heal myself, right? Like, there is a moment right now for you to get real. It's time to let go of the bullshit and let whatever no longer serves you die. And you're gonna find that through meditation, all right? So you need to really put yourself in this moment where you're meditating. I actually have said this in the last couple days to a few people, and this morning I said it with someone else again. One of the best ways that I get to let go of some of the baggage that I carry is I sit with myself and I interrogate myself. Not in this the momentum of like trying to intimidate myself or overpower myself, but really I want to like counsel myself. So I sit down and I ask myself, why don't you feel this one way about whatever? Oh, because XYZ. Okay, but do you understand how XYZ is not working for you? Yeah, but what? If you understand, and you continue to do that, and you do it in love, right? You got to sit down and meditate, particularly when you're meditating too and you're forcing yourself to be authentic with yourself. You really highly connect with the present moment. You're left with no other option but to connect with your higher self and the present moment. A lot of times people think connecting with your higher self is putting yourself outside of your reality and reaching into the cosmos to grab something powerful to bring it back to yourself. That's not the truth, right? You have to go deep within, and specifically because Buddha is the one that's telling you, you need to go deep within and meditate, right? You need to go to that point of understanding that you are the master of your own reality, so nothing externally is going to fix the problem for you. Osiris is another major deity here who tells you, you know, it's time to let aspects of the self really die as well. Because what you're ultimately looking for is freedom, right? So like there's something about you that wants to transcend and it wants to become free. The only way you're going to find freedom is by understanding where you're not loving yourself and where you're not being authentic with yourself. For some of you, it's a mixture of both. For some of you, it's going to be more so trying to tap into authenticity and being like, hey, I need to be real with myself and understand like these higher aspects about myself. Others are going to have to find like there's this thing inside of me that I haven't loved. Because that's going to be the ultimate teacher. And a lot of you who have picked this vibration right here are going to be stepping into the role of being a teacher in some degree. Rather, it's large scale on Instagram or your own personal little powwows, or you're just going to mentor someone that really needs your help. You need to learn how to master yourself and let go of that old aspect of yourself so that that moment can not only teach you how to evolve, but then that you can go ahead and you can teach others. Definitely this is a vibration I've been going through this week as well, as I'm teaching Antojai 2 on my private platform. And it's been a cool ride because as I'm teaching other people how to become ascended masters, like I'm really starting to learn a few things about myself as well that I hadn't ever been able to realize because I'm in that position of teaching. And all of my downloads have come so smoothly that I've had a download and bam, it ties somehow into the class. And then like is this cohesive growth that happens between everyone. You need to listen to that inner wisdom inside of you, okay? Because when you sit down and you're wise and you're accepting truth and you're stepping into this position of like, it is what it is, I might not like it, right? But that is the ultimate truth behind what I seek, right? That's where you're really going to come out and find a lot of power in your reality. And this is particularly highlighting the fact that a lot of you are still struggling with understanding that matter, even though it's an element of reality and it can be moved, it is not what governs your experience with reality. You need to understand that you are creating, and from each creation, a manifest must be born. So when you come to that point of understanding that what you're doing is creating, what are you creating in this present moment, right? You have to change your habits because every habit you have creates more of the same. So on my Instagram, I posted a tweet that I had posted out that basically talks about like, you know, whenever you feel abundance or you feel gratitude or whatever, like take a second to like appreciate that and grasp yourself to that, and then choose to share one of those that you gain, abundance, love, prosperity, whatever, right? And share it with one other person. And when that person has a shift, go ahead and be like, yes, I feel grateful for that person too, right? And then that's how you start changing the vibration of the world. It's by knowing a greater truth. And one of the greater truths is knowing yourself. Because when you know yourself, you detach from matter. And when you're actively getting to know yourself and simultaneously practicing that matter is not what you're trying to do, that you're no longer trying to manifest, you're actually creating, and from creation comes manifest, that's the moment that you really start seeing shifts in magical ways. But while you're doing all that, don't forget to nurture yourself. Nurturing yourself is absolutely important for everything that you do. And let it go. Didn't Osiris tell you to let something like die, right? Let it go. We have a few cards left because that's going to bring the ultimate health and healing. And it has something to do as well with your twin flame, connecting with your twin flame. Your twin flame can sometimes be your yin and your yang, or for some of you that have been single for a while, if you manage to move these elements out of your way and you let go of whatever's there that you've been struggling to let go of, you'll find that counterpiece to you, okay? Something that's really important. It's up to you. You are the creator of your own reality. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Now we're going to go to the Isis deck, okay? And I'm being told not to shuffle because I shuffled them earlier. So stay true and be in your power if you pick this one. You're stepping into a marriage of the Lady Isis and Osiris, and you're basically stepping into your divine authenticity. You're stepping more into it. So you have to, now that you know certain truths about yourself, right? You have to accept those truths and create a new reality with those truths, okay? In this vibration over here, people know that there's certain shifts that have to be done and they know the lessons, but they're still trying to learn those lessons, right? And I'm kind of somewhere in here as well. And then a little bit in here, which I know the lessons, I learned them, I come over here, I have to keep practicing them. A lot of times when we have downloads and we have like consciousness shifts, we forget that it's a lifestyle change. Ascension is a lifestyle. It's you take one step every day, one step every hour, one step every week, one step every second, one step every blank, because time doesn't exist, right? It's a constant practice. It's not just saying like, oh yeah, I went to that one dimension in my meditation this morning, oh, I'm a changed man. No, because, right, like you have to put anything you want to become into practice. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to find a way to make space in your life to start building your business. And when you start doing that, you have a major shift in your reality. Next, we have the scales of balance, which are basically telling you that you're going to be unlocking a lot of sexual energy, a lot of creative energy, a lot of powerful energy the more you get to know yourself as well. So give in to that. But I am really being told not to let go or release that sexual energy as well. Because if you harness your sexual energy, you'll be able to create more, and it's going to be more powerful. So if you right now, you can start taking supplements that amplify your sexual energy. If you can start doing breath work that has to do with sexuality. If you can just like, for the most crudest way to say it, like the most simplest way to say it, play with yourself and not release, you're going to be able to store energy. Okay, so it's up to you as whether or not your personal practice is involving that. But if you have a hard time accepting the fact that sex has to do with your alchemy and your magic and your growth and your ascension, then you have a problem with your body most likely, or you have a problem with the aspects of sex. Now, it's not saying that you have to go out and like have sex, but you need to change the way you think about sexual energy, because that's your root chakra and your sacral chakra. If you have a problem with your sexual energy, your sacral chakra is tied to abundance, so you're going to have problems with abundance. Oh wait, your emotions as well, right? And your root chakra, if you have any problems with your sexual energy, your root chakra is tied to your levels of safety, your levels of creation, your levels of feeling sexy and creating fame as well. So you're going through an initiation, not only through like loving yourself and nurturing yourself, but also through like destroying aspects of yourself. So if you went through a major destructive phase internally and you let a lot of things die in your reality, well, you need to understand that it's not done yet. Like, you might feel powerful right now, but there's something else that's still there that still has to be dealt with, and it will still come out. So as long as you're aware of that, it's not going to hit you as hard, because Ra has this energy of destruction, but also Ra has a hunter kind of energy. So it's gonna, if the Ra energies are in effect right now, they're going to be running through your reality so that it keeps finding all these little issues that are there while the gateway is closing. And right now, I believe we're going through some Cryon energy as well. Cryon is it forces you to deal with like old wounds and step into like these higher senses of healing. The divine guardian comes through and it tells you that it is protecting you against whatever it is that's going on right now. So just be in that power of protection and enter the chamber of healing. There is a moment right now that you need to be seriously healing yourself and your environment, because you're unlocking the keys to life. So if you know quantum Reiki, you already know the key of life, all right? Just work with the key of life. This is all lots of heart chakra energy, a lot of 11th chakra energy. If you're a quantum alchemy student, you already know the alchemy for the 11th chakra. Practice those two keys, those two frequencies, and you'll be able to create a lot of abundance during this time. Finally, you need to understand that right now you're traveling through a portal of light. So take advantage of this portal, because you're soaring right now. It might not even seem like it for you right now, but there's something different about reality, and you're accelerating yourself. So the more you surrender into the acceleration that's happening around you, whether you've been waking up and feeling like, fuck it, I just don't want to do XYZ anymore, right? And you know you just don't want to do it anymore, then don't do it anymore, okay? Just do something different. I've definitely been waking up and saying like, hey, if I can spend like 2 or 3 hours watching anime, I can spend 2 or 3 hours reading a book and doing something that stimulates me in a different way, right? And I've just been like, I'm not going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. I understand that I'm going through a portal of light. You might have had the same thing. You might have even been going through some other shift in your reality that allows you to understand that, you know, maybe it's time right now to not even contemplate or think, just do, right? And like, you're being compelled to just do it, do it. And you don't even have all the pieces yet. Just do it. Like, that's your guides. What good is it to hear the ascension energies or have these impulses of like, you need to like make action happen and not taking advantage of when you're being prompted to? Why do you need to wait for something else to remind you that you should have made a move, but by then it's too late, right? You're in a portal of light. Do not forget you're in a moment of creation, all right? Because you are stepping closer and closer and closer into your divine destiny, is what this last card says for you guys. Pretty clear energy, pretty clear energy. This deck has one more card that is going to speak to the people who originally picked it, but it doesn't want to speak at this moment. So now we're going to do, it says, Don't Shake Me Either, the Native American deck. You guys are stepping through a major shift in your environment. You guys are walking through the elements of the shaman. So congratulations, because this is a really powerful step. Like, it's almost like these are degrees, right? Like, some people are still grasping some things and still integrating it. Others are integrating it and trying to maintain it. Others are completely transforming altogether. This shaman card is super powerful. It says that you might be having a lot of chaos going on in your life right now, but that chaos is all going to make sense. Just roll with it. Keep following your intuition. Keep doing what you need to do. Don't stop believing in yourself, most importantly, because as we make changes, sometimes like things seem so uncertain because we're in the unknown, right? And it can seem like, I don't know, am I doing things right? No, just know like, hey, I got this, right? I trust myself enough. And that's another practice I've been actually putting in here too. Like, it's pretty crazy. I've been telling myself, like, I know so much about the cosmos, right? And a lot of you know a lot about the cosmos, but do you trust everything that you know, right? Like, you may know the dynamics of space-time. You may know the dynamics of like talking to the dead. You might know the dynamics of all these things, right? You might know that you have guides that are helping you. You might know that you know how to bend reality, but do you actually trust it? That's that surrender, right? Like, so we spent a lot of time trying to learn these things in the masculine still. And that's linear. But in that moment when you're like, let me just sink into it. Let me just fall back into it. That's when you really start tapping into these powers of like, do you know that abundance is infinite and there is no competition for it? Do you know that? Okay, you know that? Then you should trust that. When you trust that, you trust reality, and that becomes a law of reality. Not everyone understands how gravity works, right? Or they just trust that if they jump, they're going to hit the earth again, right? Or they jump off of a building, they're going to hit the ground. They trust that. That's a law of reality. So when you start knowing these things about your reality, the true shaman trusts not only in himself, but he trusts in his knowledge. And he trusts in the cohesion of both of those things. So he's multidimensional, living in already just 3 layers in that. Add other layers like your guides and all these other things, and you are beyond any threshold you might have had originally. So they're telling you, though, don't get too cocky just because you're feeling that energy, all right? There is a potential to ruin yourself if you lose control of that fire energy. And I'm really feeling people right here are being affected by Mars, the energy of Mars, and particularly Jupiter. There are some things, that are there that are kind of like making you feel empowered, but it's also something coming out of your shadow. So you need to be in this position of recognizing like, hey, I'm going to temper myself, because a fire that burns too bright or electricity that has no aim will surely cause some sort of chaos later, whether it's productive or destructive at any given moment. And we know that these elements of fire and electricity tend to be more destructive if given fully to their own nature, right? Like a fire will spread easily given to its own nature if you don't harness it and corral it. Same thing with electricity. It'll just randomly do whatever it wants to do until you learn how to harness it and put it through like generators and stuff like that. So this is a moment for you not only to trust that energy, but to know that you need to hold that energy with a great responsibility of knowledge, because you need to learn how to control yourself. You've found this authentic level in your reality, and now it's time to be real about the energies that are coming through, and you can't just be taken away by the momentum. The Chief of Shields, when it comes up upside down, it says that like you're not entirely listening to guidance. Like you're hearing a lot of different voices and you're being pulled in a lot of different ways, and all of them kind of sound like they could be the answer, but you're not actually listening to like the one consensus around all of it, right? So sometimes your guides and like the universe will talk to you, and like I know it happens to me all the time. Like Sekhmet will tell me something, then Thoth tells me like something else, and they seem kind of different in their methodology, and then all of a sudden an angel will be like, yo, but I really think you should do it this way. And I'm just like, I don't really know what to do, right? So usually when you get that much of a split in your own like divine intuition and your divine consciousness, because right now you're really stepped into your nature, you went past your subconscious, you're technically like doing the unconscious here. And the unconscious, you know, is new territory, and you have to learn how to master it so it can then master the subconscious and master the conscious realities. Okay, so like this right here, when I usually hit that peak, I'll just sit down and be like, what is this saying? What are they all saying to me? What is their advice? And ultimately, what do I want to do? How do I feel about it now that I've gotten all these different perspectives from my guides? What do I know, and how do I want to proceed? Because a lot of times people struggle with the fact that they want to move forward, right? Their guides are telling them, hey, you know, don't go left, right? And you're like, okay, but I was originally going to go left. And then another guy comes in, well, if you go left, then, you know, you're going to hit traffic, okay? And then you're still like, all right, but, and another guy comes in, and you're also going to have a harder, more stressful day because you picked that route. And then you're just like, okay, well, it is shorter. They say it's going to be a longer day. It's going to be more stressful. I'm going to hit traffic. Do I feel like doing that right now? And you make the final call. You say, okay, I gathered all the information. What do I want to do next? And always knowing internally that you have to temper that energy, okay? Then we have honor coming up upside down as well. So they're telling you still you're not fully connected to your intuition anymore. So practice meditating on the third eye. Practice on just meditating in your present moment without being swept away by the events and the downloads that you've been having. Allow yourself to find silence within your own mind and within your own consciousness. That's a very powerful technique. I'm being told to take the bottom one out. You have a lot of stuff coming your way. You have a lot of projects that are going to get fulfilled. You got a lot of energy that's going to be like telling you straight up, you're abundant, you're a creator. You're going to get a lot of energy that has to do with people wanting to follow you, people wanting to promote you, a lot of like abundance and fame energy right here. And I stutter a little bit because I'm getting hit with so much energy right now trying to read this. There's another bottom one as well. It says, which is captive. Captive comes out and it basically tells you that, you know, this is the moment for you to really start meditating and putting yourself and ordering yourself and learning how to control your raw force, because there's going to come a moment where you're going to have a lot on your plate. This is the resting period. The huge ass wave is on its way and it's going to basically give you what you asked for. And if you're not rested, you're going to burn out. You have a tendency of like biting off more than you can chew and not tempering yourself. And when you don't temper yourself, you're going to become brittle, or you're going to like throw something in your alchemy off. So you really need to understand that right now is the time to like Learn how to harness your power, meditate, be real with yourself, chill, listen to your intuition, learn how to be more powerful as a creator, because that manifestation is coming. There's no denying it. And when it comes, it's going to test you. It's going to be another wave of ascension. Like, you asked for this, be careful what you wish for. Can you handle it, right? That's definitely what the energy I'm picking up, because it's showing me the energy of when I went to ayahuasca. I took ayahuasca asking for all my abilities, and then I hit this moment where, like, I was literally feeling like I was getting lobotomized. And then I was like, all I kept hearing is like, be careful what you wish for, and I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna even complain about this. Like, this is horrible, but this is what I asked for, right? So when I flip this over, union comes up upside down. You need to be careful too. There's some people around you that have a selfish energy. What I'm really picking up off of this is like, hush your mouth, shut your mouth. Don't tell nobody what you're about to do. Don't tell anybody what you got in the works. And definitely ask yourself if what you're doing is still based off of the greater good. Are you doing it in service of others? And like, I know that sounds kind of strange for people sometimes. Are you doing it for the greater good? Are you doing it for the service of others? Are you doing it out of love? Are you doing it because you actually want to help other people? Or are you doing it because there's some sort of selfish interest for you? Right? Because people do that. People may come off with the best intentions, but at the end of the day, when something doesn't get fulfilled for them, their subconscious reacts, and then you end up realizing that their subconscious was always just helping you out and being kind because they were looking for something out of it from the beginning, right? From the start. And maybe their consciousness wasn't aware of it, but that's why they had a nasty reaction when they didn't get what they want, right? Because if you're actually giving something, or you're actually doing something out of the kindness of your heart, and you're actually giving something outward for the greater good and the greater growth of other people, then you don't expect anything back. You hope for things time to time, but as long as you know that you're doing your best, you got whatever you need, okay? You got a lot of harvest coming though. Like, again, telling you that manifestation is on its way. The matriarch of vessels, she puts stuff in her vessels, and the harvest is coming. So she's got a lot to be carrying, all right? So you got lots of great energy coming your way. This is the last card. The last card tells you, don't get focused on the material. Don't get stuck in matter. Sometimes the longest journey is the journey within. Sometimes you need to be able to say, like, whatever's happening right now is happening because I created it, and it's divinely inspired, and I'm gonna just roll with the punches until it all makes sense. You need to, again, trust yourself, trust your magic, trust what you know you want your reality to be, because a lot of times people get stuck in this potential of like, hey, I want my reality to be this, and they keep trying to move matter, they keep trying to like level up, but they don't like come to the foundations of this one understanding. You trust yourself, you trust reality, you know that everything happens for a reason, and you're gonna have evolution when it's necessary. So really don't get stuck in manifesting, don't get stuck in matter. If your motivations have been guided by money, you're fucking off the mark. Recalibrate yourself, all right? Because it's not about the matter, it's about what it makes you feel and how it makes you feel, and is that feeling being generated from a positive state? Give me 2 seconds. So then we're coming back to the last card for the Ascended Master deck. The Ascended Master deck is telling you, get your crystals. Go ahead and cleanse your crystals, meditate with your crystals, reorganize your crystals. One of the things that I do a lot is I reorganize my feng shui all the time, all right? Feng shui is the energy that comes through your house. Like, go ahead and Google it online. But if you always have the same stones in the same areas and you're never revitalizing, right? Everything has to change. And trust me, I got a bunch of geodes, okay, that are like heavy as hell. And it is not fun grabbing 40-pound geodes and moving them around the house just so I can refreshen the energy. It's a workout, and it probably takes me all day. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that Ascension is your lifestyle. You're not a stagnant being. Like, you're not a linear stagnant being. You are a being that changes its energies and its interests all the time. If you were really a stagnant being, there would be no reason for you to want to watch TV, to want to find a lover, to do anything. We're always changing. You need to embrace change as a thing of your own reality. You go to do things because you avoid change in certain areas, and then you do things because you need change in other areas, and then you see the duality of life, right? But regardless of whether or not you want to participate in the change and you choose to stay stagnant in certain areas, change is still going to happen, positively or negatively, for you, right? So you need to put yourself in this position of saying, all right, I understand these greater lessons, that everything's in movement, everything's in change. How do I change myself? How do I change my house? How do I do something different? If you always just grab your stone and you try to meditate with your stones and let your stones kind of educate you, choose to educate them for once. Share an experience with them. Talk to them. If you never talk to them, talk to them. Be real about your experience with your reality. This has to do a lot with environmental energies, all right? Go out there, talk to the animals. Go out there, talk to the plants. Do something different when you're out and about and around other people who are miserable. Choose to send love everywhere. Nobody's gonna be miserable around me, because that's what I command as a divine creator of my own reality. So those are some things that I just want to leave you there with. Send you all my love. Hope this was very helpful. If it was, comment down below on how it was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, like it. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching to accelerate your ascension, if you're ready to become the ultimate healer that you've always been destined to be, if you're ready to become an ascended master and learn the arts of truly bending reality, all 12 realities, activating your DNA, overcoming trauma, and just the bullshit from this reality, go ahead and schedule a free clarity call to see if you're a good fit. If you're a good fit, we'll get you started, all right? And you will change your life in just a matter of weeks. If you're not feeling that vibe just yet, just wait. But you're always going to be wondering what you could have done if you studied the art of Antojai quantum healing. Sending you all my love.